Hello world, welcome to edupediaworld.com. In our today's video, we are going to learn about some of the programs or the basic programs written in the basic programming language. First of all, let's have a look at the simple addition program. Let's first look at the statements where these are all the reserved words. Also, we have learned earlier about the data types and variables in basic and also have gone through these reserved words. But now we will have a look at them through a proper program. So this is the program which is adding two numbers and showing us the results of both numbers and then finally their sum as the output. So let's have a look now like what each statement is going or is doing on. So the REM, simply this statement is known as a remark statement or a comment about the program. So without affecting the program, it doesn't matter how many remark statements or how many comments we are using in a program. These are just to ease down the program for the reader, so that the reader in a glimpse comes to know that what the program is going to do. So this remark is telling us that this program will find the sum of the two numbers. Now comes the let statement, which simply is the assignment statement. It assigns the variable values and also tells the computer about the formula for the variables. As you can see that the let statement first is assigning the values to the variables a and b, then it is telling a variable c what it has to do with the variables a and b, that is it has to add both the variables and then put the result in the variable c. Then comes the print statement, which tells the computer what to print on the terminal or on the screen. The commas between the variables tell the computer how to space when going to print. So that is why in an output, when we are going to see the values, there is a proper space between these values because of these commas given in the print statement. Then finally end tells the computer that the program is completed. So this is how the program is written in BASIC. Let's have a look at another very simple program. Let's first have a look at what these statements or what these reserved words are going to do in the program. The CLS, simply as the name is showing, stands for clear screen. So whenever we use clear screen, all of the words that were printed to the screen were wiped away, or simply you can say that the display, the output terminal is clean and clear for you. Then comes the print command, which again writes to the screen whatever is written in it within the inverted commas. Each new print command will start printing on a new line. This is by default in the basic programming language. Then simply comes the end, which stops the program at that line. So now if you see in the output, there is only one print command in the output, whereas in the program we have written 5 print commands. Why so? Because as you can see, after 3 print statements, we have again used the clear screen statement. So simply all the previous printouts were wiped away or were cleared for us and gave us a clean and clear terminal for the output screen or for the display. Then finally comes the end, which is there to tell the computer that the program is completed or stops the program at that line. That is why the print statement, which is beyond the end line, or anything that is added after the end, would not be shown. So that is why the only line which will come as the output to us is this print statement, which has the data in inverted commas. Finally, this is the end, because after the end the print statement would not run, and before the clear screen the three print statements which had to be printed, but they were cleared because of this clear screen statement. So this is how the programs, the simple statements work in the environment of BASIC. So now let's have a look at some conditional statements, or at some statements with the first one simply is a GOTO statement. This statement in BASIC is used to jump to a specific location or label within the source code. So it may take either a line number which appears at the beginning of a line by default in the BASIC environment, or a label which is a word that ends in a colon. So this is how simply the GOTO statement work. Let's first have a look what this program is going to do for us. So as you can see, this 10, 20, 30, 50, these are the line numbers which comes by default in the BASIC environment. Then comes the statements, reserved words which we used for the to make a program in BASIC. So first of all, remark or a comment is there to tell us that what this program will perform for us. So this program simply will find the perimeter of rectangle. Then comes the print statement, which will print for us whatever is there within the inverted commas. So it is type in two numbers separated by commas. Then comes the input statement, which is there to take the input by the user. So when we type the two numbers separated by commas, they will be taken as input and will be assigned to these variables A and B. Then comes the assignment statement, the let statement, which simply will assign the values or the formula, whatever is we got from this formula, to this variable C, which actually is would be the perimeter of a rectangle. So if we see at the final output, we will have the two sides, and then comes the perimeter of rectangle. But here again comes the control statement, or you can say the control will shift to go to 20. So it simply will take us again to line number 20. So in output again we can have the same output showing type in two numbers separated by commas. Then the input will be taken, and then again we will have the output showing the two sides and the perimeter of rectangle. So it keeps on going and going. So this is how with the GOTO statement, which simply tells the computer which line to continue the program on. This program keeps on going and going, is taking the inputs of the two variables as an input, again calculating them and giving us the perimeter of a rectangle along with the two sides. These commas in the print statement are there that separate what is to be printed and will allow for neat columns in the printed results. So that is why we can read the output very neatly and in a presentable way. This is because these columns. But again, we have to end the program at somewhere. We can't keep our program like again and again asking and again is taking the input from us and giving us the output. So for it, we have to use the if-then statements, or you can say the conditional statements, which are there to end the program as well, or can give any conditions according to the program requirements or according to the user's decisions. So here we are ending the program when we are giving an input 0. So you can see like if A is equal to 0, then 90. So now the program will shift to line number 90, where automatically the end is there. So the program will come to an end when we give an input a 0 in the input. So this is how the program comes to an end. And simply this is how the if then or the conditional statements work in BASIC. Then comes some more examples. What if we are want to give some more conditions in the if then statement? So suppose like if a number is less than 0, then print number is negative. And suppose if we want to give some more conditions in the same if statement, for it we have the else statement as well. So if the number is less than 0, print number is negative, else print number is non-negative. So you can say that the else statement is there to end up this if loop. Then comes one more condition in if else loop or in if else condition, which is the else if condition. Like again the condition is checked. Suppose if the number is less than 0, print number is negative. Else if, check again the number. Like if it is not less than 0, then check it if it is greater than 0. And if this statement is true that the number is greater than 0, then we will have in the output that the number is positive. Else print that number is 0. And this is finally the end of this if else if loop. This is the conditional statements, or these are the statements which are supported in modern versions of BASIC and make the programming very easy. So thank you for watching a video on edupediaworld.com.